Flying in and out of DIA is not always a smooth, easy breezy process, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, even on a good day, flying in and out be a bit rocky. The weather can have a big impact on those flights, obviously, particularly in the afternoon hours. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi is out at DIA. Chris, it looks like the wind has died down a little bit. We were worried about you last time. You're talking about how risky it can be to book in the afternoon.
Yeah, I would say it's risky, obviously not in a safety sense. What we're talking about risky is if, let's say you need to get somewhere, let's say you got a wedding or you've got an exact place to be, that is the reason why we try and emphasize if you need to get somewhere on time, the summer afternoon tends to be the trickiest time window. Nobody knows that better than the gentleman joining me right now, the warning coordination meteorologist from the National Weather Service office in Boulder, Greg Heavener, joins us now for a bit more about what you guys do to help out with the airfield. So last hour, if you missed it last hour, we had some real wind. You and I were geeking out about this hardcore about an hour ago. But the reason I bring that up is that wind, you know, for us meteorologists, obviously a bit more whatever, but for planes, they hate that. It's erratic wind. It makes it difficult to take off or land. It is common this time of year. So what do you do as the Weather Service to kind of coordinate with the airport, give them a heads up, and how do you work with them?
So we issue a terminal aerodrome forecast, or TAF for short, which is a 30-hour forecast that lets the airport and pilots know who are coming in and out of DIA what winds are supposed to be any given hour, wind shifts, that kind of stuff like that. We also work with the TRACON here on the property as well as the ARTCC up in Longmont. We actually have a staff of 4 people that work up there with the folks that help to run management here, with the traffic management unit here at DIA when it comes to diversions and planes flipping around runways, landing north or south, whichever it might be. So lots of work happening on the weather side when it comes to air traffic here at DIA.
And so let's say, for example, we had what we had an hour ago, right? You got an approaching storm, you got some pretty gusty winds moving in. You know that that's going to be potentially a hazard to the airport. What's your communication and coordination like with the airport?
So outside of the actual aviation aspect of it, we also have tens of thousands of people who are in Jepson Terminal, and so we're alerting the folks that are working here as far as emergency management goes and public safety to say, hey, tornadoes possible, through a thunderstorm, flooding rains, whatever it might be. That way they can make alerts inside the actual terminal itself to get folks to evacuate or get to the safe places should a giant storm come in, say, any direction. But again, when it poses a life safety risk, we want to make sure the airport is well aware of that occurring here, given how far removed it is from downtown Denver.
By the way, you got planes taking off and landing right behind us right now. I guess the final question I've got as well, obviously, National Weather Service, your mission is life and property, protecting life and property. What sort of special emphasis do you have on the airport, right? Making sure that people are getting in and out safely?
Well, so it comes down to operations, absolutely, but the public safety is the biggest thing. Obviously, aviation public safety and folks who are on the ground. So 85 million people come in and out of DIA every single year. So that's a lot of people who maybe aren't accustomed to our weather here in Colorado, let alone Denver, and making sure they're well aware, because if they're landing here on vacation, kind of blissfully ignorant, boom, a storm happens, get someplace safe as quick as possible. That's our job.